Today I'm going to show you how to adjust your nozzles on your car. Now this video goes for all cars essentially. There might be slight modifications. So let's just work on the problem first. The problem is blocked nozzles, or nozzles which are not directly hitting the windscreen. So I'm going to show you mine just now. I've got these ones, which one's firing there correctly, one's firing over here over the roof, another one firing over here, and one nozzle over there which is firing to the left. So not ideal. This particular car has, I think it's got about four or so nozzles firing outwards. Now I'll need to check that. However, let's just work out why the problem's occurring. So when the water goes into the water tank for the reservoir, you'll get little particles in there which will get passed into the hose pipe and jam in the nozzles. They can't get through. So what happens is the nozzle might get blocked, thereby increasing the power to the open nozzle, and that will again shoot the water out at double the pressure, which means it's going to go over the roof or off the car or in a place where you're not expecting it. The second thing that can possibly occur is both nozzles are blocked, in which case no water will come through, and the pipe which is connecting the nozzle to the water reservoir will disconnect or leak. Okay. The other thing that can happen is that you get a little particle partially blocking a nozzle out, which will mean that the pattern from the washer bottle coming out and going through the nozzle will not be the one that you're expecting. It might be a spray, it might be a dribble, it may be a lack of pressure, and that's a partial blockage. Now just back to the reservoir. The reservoir should always be kept with water in it, and the reason for that is because the pump which generates the pressure, if it's operated without water in there, that can damage the pump. So always remember to change that, to change the water. Make sure you've got a good water level. If your pump is damaged, then a replacement pump will give you a much greater power, and it's a joy having much greater power on these nozzles. So let's stop there and let's look at the problem. So this is the nozzle on my car, and as you can see, it's got four little holes on there. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2 on each of these bumps. Now what you'll notice is this white stuff across there. That is old wax, etc., which has just got on there and blocked up the holes. So the simplest thing we're looking for is just to get a small little sewing needle in there. There's a fine sewing needle, okay, in that, so it just opens up without damaging the actual metal nozzles themselves. So that's the next thing we're going to try. Okay, and then after that we're going to line the jets onto the windscreen, decide where they want to go. So what I've done is opened the bonnet of the car and pulled back this trim, which just is a sound deadening material. So I've just pulled it back, and that exposes where the nozzles are connected to the pipe. So what I want to do is I want to disconnect the pipe either here and here, and just blow through compressed air through the pipe from the opposite side, so from the nozzles forward if I can do, and if I can't, then I'll just have to go that way out. Okay, so I always like to go from the nozzle backwards, but in this case it's 4 nozzles, so it's unlikely to happen. So what I'm going to do is, once I try to get that into focus, is I'm going to go from this pipe and blow outwards, and this pipe and blow outwards. Okay, I'll come back. One-handed view of compressed air going through. Of course you need 2 hands. That's what you're doing, is basically blowing it in with the compressor gun, or you could use a fairy liquid bottle and just attach it on there and just blow it through. So I'm not very good at holding this, but you can imagine what's going on, and from the other end all the junk comes out. So that's that done. I'll just plug it all back in, and then we'll check it to see if the water's coming through nicely. Adjusting the the water jets is really easy. So what you're doing is, this one's got 4 water jets, so you're just going in, finding your hole, going in there, up and down, left and right, okay, until you get it right. So this is the final result I've got, and there you go, water everywhere. Important thing to note is when you're adjusting these to have the engine running, because the power of the pump is stronger with the engine running. The second thing is that the water dispersion doesn't have to be in a symmetrical pattern, it just needs to be on the screen. Bear in mind that when the car is moving at, let's say, 70 miles per hour, it's going to be pushed onto the screen. So although you'll see some of the water going off at that angle, when the car is moving, it's going to be pushed onto the screen. So the best way to do is test it when the car is running at different speeds, see if you're happy, otherwise adjust the nozzles. I hope that has helped. You ready? Okay, so final result. There you go, you can see the 4 powerful jets coming out. One of them going over the top, that's not a problem because you're going to adjust these when you start moving the car. The one thing I would say is make sure that you adjust them with the engine on, because you'll see the difference with just the electrics on. It's less powerful, you hit it with an engine on versus that. Okay.